Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. Recently the building community have been focusing more on compounds, and I'm slowly bringing my bases up to speed with the introduction of a seawall / mini China wall combination, making your compound a lot more defendable and just boosting quality of life throughout the entire base. Couple of things to focus in on about this one that is going to make you guys want to build it is that our starter base has been built with the intention to defend an online early game raid, coming in with multiple peaks that have been integrated efficiently without affecting quality of life or mobility in any way, shape or form. Secondly, we can take a look at our seawall, which introduces some traps, some respawns, some amazing peaks, and some breach peaks looking back towards the base. I personally lived out of this base with a 6-man group last wipe, and I have to say that the compound really makes it seem like you're living in a much larger base for a way smaller cost. So I'd really recommend this one. Super fun to live out of. Let's jump onto the tour so you guys can confirm if you want to build this one. Alright, and now we're jumping into the tour. Merry Christmas to anyone that celebrates that. Hope you have a good time in the holidays. We're going to start off outside a mini Satori disconnectable as we usually do, disconnecting from the opposite side just to change things up, and it saves us a little bit of cost. Take a look at that base. It is a beauty. We have 6 gatehouses that you can enter inside of the compound from. Here's one of them with a trap and a peak. Now folks, it's Christmas and man needs a little bit of money for presents, so this video has got a sponsor. This video has been sponsored by the Hunter Call of the Wild. They've gone ahead and released a new DLC, England Mountains, and it's launching with a 20% discount on Steam and Epic Games for the first 7 days. With this DLC, you can explore the rugged New England mountains and hunt 15 different animal species. They've gone ahead and refined some of the animals and improved visuals across the board. Not to mention, you'll get a brand new weapon that you can try out on your hunting experience, and there'll be free cosmetics for you guys to take advantage of too. There will be 2 new cosmetic packs released, one of them's free. Plus, there will be a paid cosmetic pack available for purchase, the Veteran. We'll have animal backfill on multiple reserves, and just an overall boost in performance and minor additions to detail and visuals. Hopefully you guys are excited for this one. If you are, go and check out the new DLC on the Hunter Call of the Wild. And thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Let's jump back into the tour. Alright, back into the tour of the base, and as you can see, we can fit 6 large furnaces in this entire section, plenty of large boxes, 6 beds, along with 3 unlootable lockers beside each bed. Every mini China wall section has some wonderful head glitches out to the rest of compound. It has some nice windows to check outside of compound, wonderful head glitches up here, and then looking behind we can do some breach peak work over here, assuming the base has been rocketed and people are trying to ladder inside. In here you're going to want to have a locked locker. I didn't lock it because who knows. And then obviously your loot will be unlootable for anyone who breaks it. Heading around, you can see another one of our gatehouses, again allowing us to defend. Plenty of space for our furnaces, they're tucked away nicely. Everything looks super neat and symmetrical. Perfect for anyone with that OCD. It's a very nice looking compound. Get a nice flat spot and you'll throw this down easy peasy. Really nice turret angles throughout here as well. In total there are 3 entrances, 2 of them are mobility chutes. Those are mobility chutes there that I just showed. And then one of them will lead into our starter base. We'll take in the main entrance for just now so you guys can see what's going on. And you can see our starter base is nice and open. Of course there's plenty of doors and the staircase, making us have a nice defendable head glitch that we can use on any door path raiders that may be coming along. Jumping up the staircase, we can see that a turret defends the rest of this floor, and there's a window to the left to hold anyone coming in from above, so you can defend that top-down raid nice and easy. Lots and lots of boxes here, places for beds, extra deployables, anything you could need. Super unique little egg core, not seen it before, and I really like how this one lays out. Early game, super nice to live from. Lastly, I want to let you guys know that if you are into building and you enjoy that kind of thing, you can join my Discord down below, where you can interact with me and some very experienced builders to help improve your skill set. And if you'd like me to review your base, I do that every Wednesday live on Twitch. And lastly, if you like the content I produce, I do have a second channel where I post my wipes that you could also check out. Then over here, I would kind of call this the main loot section. We have two slightly stronger defended loot rooms behind a window, with another loot room in the middle there, and an early game battery in front of our beds here. So you get this battery down, throw up some turrets early on before you're ready for the rest. Jumping up one more floor, we have another section for beds, lockers, the remaining 2 batteries to go along with all 3 of our windmills, and of course 3 exits out onto our shooting floor. Space for lockers up here of course as well, and the shooting floor is just really good. We have these ramp peaks here that you can sit nice and far back on. It's a really nice head glitch, and due to lighting and rust, you're far more hard to see than other people outside of the base. So sitting on top of that ramp, you're really not easy to spot. You can see all the half height windows that we have going along with the freehand peaks that we have too. In total in this shooting floor we have freehands, we have Widegaps, and we have the ramp peaks. We're taking the best of all 3 worlds and slamming them together in one wonderful, stable shooting floor. Really happy with how this shooting floor came out. And of course we have 3 roof exits and 3 roof peak ups to go along there as well. Nice little roof peak up section and roof exit, tucked away off to the corner of each of the sides, making it tough to door camp you guys, and tough to push into shooting floor. Then we have some nice little window ramp peaks that go all the way around the roof, allowing you guys to get some nasty head glitches away from the base. Then the rest of the roof has been decorated of course within Christmas theme. We've got 3 sheet metal vending machine bunkers up here, all 8 rockets to either despawn or gain the loot. Plenty of boxes and beds up here, you don't need to design it like that, more for the video, but if you want to, go ahead. And of course some nice peaks that we can use as well. 3 windmills to power everything inside the base, and there's 3 batteries to go along with those. That's the tour of the base guys. Let's jump onto the costs now real quick. First of all on screen is the total build cost. Here it is in box amounts, take a screenshot of that if you need. Lastly is the total upkeep spread between 4 TCs, that's 3 externals and 1 main base TC. Lastly, I'll throw up the footprint here, take a screenshot of this as well. This is how much space you'll need to build the base, so keep that in mind. I think you guys got all the information you need. Let's go ahead and break down how to build the base now. Alright, jumping into the building portion of the video, we're going to start off with a bit of a small starter, so we're not starting with the entire egg footprint. Let you guys get the base down a little bit easier for less materials. TC's on the right hand side. Let's make sure we lock it. It's a multi-TC base, so lock the TC. Got room for our bags in the center, a loot room off to the left, our TC on the right with some furnace spots as well. And that's kind of like the mini starter base that you guys can live out of until you're ready to expand the egg further. So expanding the egg all the way out here, then sealing off our front door on that square with a loot room on the right. Then we half wall over here with the door on top, because we enter in from like a half height angle. So we can have this cool kind of like stair section that gives us a wonderful peak and makes the mobility super smooth between first and second floor. So we'll move to second floor now. And we have like a little turret spot up here that covers both floors really nicely. If you kind of clan likes to leave your doors open, you get that turret down, you'll be safe enough to do that for a while. Jump up to third floors on the left hand side there. And we have a little window as well to peek down on first floor door. Plus you can hold the drop down of third from here as well with some crazy angles. Not going to be a fun top down through there. Then there's 2 loot rooms on this floor. And that's kind of the floor plan from above. We can seal that in with ceilings. We'll go and add the honeycombing down now as well. In front of each square, we're going to metal the honeycombing, and then everywhere else it can be stone honeycomb. So you can see there, off the squares, we have metal honeycombing. And that's because it's where our mobility chute is, and we don't really want to lose those. It'd be more helpful if none of those got blown open. So hopefully the stone gets targeted and the mobility chutes are left alone. And then you can just raise your honeycombing all the way up to the second floor. And begin on the mobility chutes. And it's just a single door, a window. And we do frames all the way up just to remind you not to accidentally seal these in. However, I would have 1 to 2 ladder hatches maximum. And then just fill that rest of the space in with ladders. Too many hatches are kind of aids. Alright, let's get Widegaps down, because we want our externals down, so we'll do our Widegap build out here. We do a small build out, then we do the 2 Widegap squared method. And I'm building it all facing the same direction, so it's nice and easy to follow along with. We come back with triangles, replicate our original build out, and we have our 2 Widegap triangles here. From there, we're going to turn that into a small mini China mold section here, bringing it out with a square and triangle, creating a hexagon, and then branching off with 2 squares. From here, we're going to have our little bedroom section in compound. We'll go ahead and do the mini Satori disconnectable here, building out with 4 squares, capping it with a raised triangle. And then you can throw your TC in there with any configuration of garage doors, single doors, windows, anything like that. And of course you can strengthen up these externals more if you need. If you reckon you've built near the type of people that like to grief externals, then definitely beef those up. The breach peak is half walls all the way around, then windows on top of those. Makes it a little bit harder for these to get used against you, as they're not eye level with people outside of the base. Connecting everything up with frames, and you disconnect from this point here, in case your main TC is broken and you want to replace it, or if you want to move it to a different floor, whatever reason. On the left and right are more windows, allows us to peek back into compound. Then above here we do low walls so we can have our breach peak. At this point you want to gather up all your teammates and get this locker placed down in here with a lock on that. And get all your team to grab the lock before you eventually upgrade, sealing it off, making our locker unlootable. Then we get embrasures in there, and yeah, that completes it. 2 more times. Lastly, those frames just connect everything up, and now we'll move on to the next one. Got to do that 2 more times, so I'll be back with you guys when we got that done. Okay, so now all 3 of our wide gap sections are done. We'll move on to our freehands now, and they go in between each of the 3 wide gaps. So we're going to be freehanding from these 2 points, off of these corners here on every side. Let's break one now so we can do it. Usual freehanding method, we're going to place ourselves directly into the front of these low walls, placing our crosshair right in the center where mine was. Then we're going to back up the square as tight as we can, before it obviously snaps away. And then we build back. Placing 1 frame and checking the stability is over 70. And then you're good to go. We're going to leave out that other frame so we have space to do our next freehand. Same method again, and of course we do it a good few more times, so make sure we practice this on a build server. You can do it in uneven terrain, it's just a little bit harder. Once all of our foundations are down and we can confirm that they're both connected, and then we can add all the frames on our freehand foundations. All the way around. We don't need to focus on these just now, but yeah. Just adding the bottom set of frames and we'll work on the rest of it later on. And I'll walk you through the freehands one more time before I leave you to finish it off. Crosshair goes in where mine did. We're backing up the square as much as you can. Play around with it a bit. Obviously I've mastered it so I know when I'm in the right place. But do a little jiggle back and forth. You'll get a feel for it. You'll know when it's in there proper. And then just repeat that again. Again, if you need help, just jump in the Discord and I'll try and guide you through it a bit better. But that's the gist of it. It just takes practice. It might seem hard, but you'll get it locked down. Making sure we only do 1 frame at a time until all the foundations are in, because for some reason it blocks it. Makes no sense. But yeah, that's the freehands. I'll be with you when you've caught up on all of those. Alright, our freehands are done. Let's move on to the seawall portion. So we'll do our foundation layout here, connecting it up like that, and the same on the right hand side. Just connecting up again to our mini China wall section here, and then we leave a gap in the middle for the furnaces and the high walls. So it's the same build out, repeated all the way around. Nice little footprint there. And we'll do the last side. Okay, and that's the whole footprint down now. From here, we're going to go around with some half holes in the right places. Keeping in mind that some areas have windows, some areas have single doors, like right here. And that just gives us a peek from our gatehouse, also leaving room for the shotgun trap, our gatehouse. So these squares here are gatehouses next to where your furnaces would be. They have a window, they have a door, and they have 2 double doors. And it's the same all the way around. And you basically just mimic the same pattern 3 times. So we have mini China wall section with some boxes or a turret spot underneath. And then it leads into a gatehouse on the left and right. And you fill that in all the way through. Be with you guys once you've finished off that pattern. Okay, all the gatehouses are finished and the seawall. Let's move on to some high walls now. In total, you need 6 high walls, 2 times 3, and they come out like this, kind of jagged. I'll show you one more time. The high walls are easy enough though. Just make sure you use your Alt key and it really can't go wrong. And if you've got it like me, that leaves you perfect space for 2 large furnaces, making sure we slam that first one like straight back into the high walls, and then you got plenty of room. Alright. Other thing compound needs, barricades. So let's get those placed down as I do. Feel free to use some twig to allow you to get the barricade placement a little bit smoother. And we're going around with barricades. I'll just show you one segment, and then obviously it's the same 3 times. And we're just placing the barricades like I do. It's 48 metal blades total. So I'd be hanging on to metal blades from the start of wipe day, because you're going to need a good few later on. I know they're nice to recycle, but just hang on to them. All the way around like that. One more barricade to throw down. And that's our barricades like that. And then to make things even harder, some branches around all the building spots. Makes this a very tough compound to push into, even without turrets. However, we'll move on to turrets now. Either you can put turrets here, or if you think you'd prefer the loot boxes, you can go for that. That's a builder's decision right there, depending on how many turrets you think you're going to come by. That's not a bad spot for turrets. Back here though, definitely turrets. And they just sit on those frames, and of course they're guarded from the half wall from the outside, so nobody even knows they're there until it's too late and they're already pushing up to the base, and that's when those turrets become a problem. So 10 out of 10 would recommend them. Alright, let's go back onto main base now that our compound is safe and secure, and we can have our large furnaces cooking away. Sealing in our entire egg, so we've still got all of our honeycombing. And the floor plan goes as follows. We have our jump up directly above our previous jump up. To the left of that we have a large battery. And then we have 3 loot rooms all side by side. So we have 2 windows and a square in the middle. Kind of the main loot floor here, where you're keeping the juice. And that's that floor done and dusted. We'll look at the 4th floor now, which of course leads out to shooting floor. We have 1 jump up, then we have our remaining 2 batteries because there's 3 windmills on roof. We have 3 locker spots and then an extra 3 locker spots that are out in shooting floor. In order to get these last few lockers in, we'll need to raise up the honeycombing. So I'm doing a double door and then a single door in preparation for that. Double doors leading out to shooting floor, and double doors to separate this whole floor. In there too. And then this whole area gets a ceiling. We'll finish off our mobility chutes. Obviously the one above the entrance to starter does not lead up, but these 2 do. And the honeycombing gets filled in, again stone, hoping that this area is targeted over our mobility chutes. In a pommel raid. Now you see you have the spare triangle for your locker now. And they're spread out nice and even. And if you do the beds like I did in the tour, it's nice and smooth to walk over on that floor. I'd recommend that style. Okay, for shooting floor we're going to raise our frames up. Over here we have that half height difference, which gives us that window peak. Very nice. On the freehands they're raised up just straight forward. And then of course the Widegaps have this little half height difference here, with the stone windows at the top. And we'll just raise up all those frames as we're doing. After frames, we put in our floors, and they're pretty simple all the way around. We'll start with our frame floors, and then I'll go around and do the ones off main base. Remembering we do have our ramp peak, so we're doing frames here, don't get carried away and accidentally seal that off. And it's 2 triangles off main base. But right here, we need our frames, and they go in before the ramps. That's the order that needs to go down. Okay, and at this point we need to carry through a couple of half floors. You can do this any way you want, but this works pretty well just from inside core. And then one around the back of that loot room there. And you'll see what I meant by carrying through. Got some frames in our mobility chutes now, so each mobility chute has that half height frame that will allow you to place these half height floors in. You might need to pick up a couple of deployables to get that through, depending on what stage you're at, if you've already kitted out the 3rd floor. But that shouldn't be a problem. Then you can throw your ramps in facing towards the wide gap. Like the tallest part rating facing towards the wide gap. And that's all 6 of the ramps in. Now we can go around with our windows. Leaving out the wide gap section for just now, because that's our roof exit / roof peak up. So we'll focus on that bit last. Let's just go around the standard windows for just now. And then once all our windows are in, we'll take a look at the roof exit / roof peak up. Which is over here. We start with a half wall with a window on top to allow us to get that little roof peak. And then we want a frame in there, just to make it harder to hit our own head. Then we can do half wall and a frame. If you can't get these roofs to place, then just rotate the frame so there's no conditional. Or just build everything in twig first and upgrade it after, and that works too. And we'll do all 3 of these chutes exactly the same, with our little roof peak up. And this just extends the door path by quite a lot as well, because you can add garage doors here, making the drop down from roof to shooting floor a good bit more expensive than usual. And giving us nice 3 roof exits that are all spread out, makes it kind of hard to hold you guys down. After all of those are built, we have some spaces in shooting floor for extra lockers. You can make that combing if you want, you can make it something else, but there's a couple of spare triangles going around that you can throw a single door in and slap a locker in there. Then frames in these spots around the shooting floor. Now we got a spot for another locker here. And then we can add floors all the way over our shooting floor, just matching what's below. And once all those floors in, that completes the shooting floor section. We'll move on to the roof now, and I'm leaving the roof in the most basic form really. Feel free to throw in vendy bunkers, or that little middle section I had. Design the deployable section however you like, or you can have what I did. Finally, we can take advantage of the new update, and let's rotate our ramps pressing R, because we can do that now. And these place in so much easier than before, so solid update, I'm happy with that. And they go all the way around, giving us a nice head glitch to use from our roof. And then we can raise up some frames above each of our roof exits for a windmill on top. And then just throw your windmills down. And of course, feel free to add in a vendy bunker, boxes in the middle, beds, anything else you can think of. And once you've done that, that completes the base design. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. Merry Christmas again, folks. As the year comes to a close, I'm super thankful for the channel and how it's going. I appreciate every single one of you guys who watched the video and try out the bases. It really means a lot. I'm going to be live streaming around the time this video was posted, so come say hi. Thanks again for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you in a bit.